Hi, Jimmy Gould with Deerman's T.H.E.3D. By now you know we've given the sport of 3D archery a twist, back to the hunter. This is Dakota. He's my 3-year-old, my 4th son. This is Tyson, my nephew, my brother's boy. We're a family-oriented sport. Bring your wife out, bring your kids out. If you're a hunter, this is your organization. We have realistic hunting type situations, realistic kill zones. Come watch us. We're going to go shoot a few targets that has been set up here in Caddo, Oklahoma. They've put us on a good T.H.E.3D shoot. Come with us as we go shoot some of the targets. All right. Good shot. Little forward. Right high, a little forward. Okay. I was shocked on that down.
It started blowing.
Oh, okay. Let me get that umbrella for you.
Yeah, go get my umbrella.
Terry moved forward to a shorter stake. This is designed for different skill levels of archers. Terry is shooting intermediate hunter. Hi, Jimmy Gould. We've caught up with Justin Bethel, and he started shooting our events last year. He shot once on the old conventional score rings, and he shot once at the Texas State Championship on the new TK score rings, and he shot again today on the new TK score rings. Justin, what's your thoughts about it?
I like it. It's a different twist. It's something different than your just conventional shoot.
Does it really feel like, does it appeal to you on just a target level, or does it appeal to you on the hunting level? And really, which
more
one?
Definitely more on the hunting level.
Okay.
I mean, you shoot more out here like what you would in the woods. It's not, you get a little trash in your way, you're still going to take that shot in the woods.
Well, there you go. You couldn't have said it better. That's the thing, is that when we're in the wild, we're not going to look for that wide open. I mean, sure, we'd like to have it, but we're not going to get that wide open shot as often out there as we would here. And so that's the point of T.H.E. is we're trying to put that twist back in there to give a little bit, not trashy, but a little bit of stuff there to make you have to lean every now and then and to get that shot of a lifetime at that buck of a lifetime. So, Justin, do you see a difference between conventional 3D archery and the TK score rings? And does it make a difference to you as a shooter versus and a hunter, and why?
Yes, there is a difference. For me, when I'm hunting, I would shoot more like what you have set up here, because the animal's going to drop most of the time for me.
Right.
And that's where I have better luck aiming. As far as shooting, it's really just a different spot you're aiming if you're looking at it as far as for a target archer.
There you go. So it can appeal to the target archer too. He's just got to find a different location
Just
to pick
shift
up
your
those
aim.
points.
That's a dead turkey up there.
Whoa, shot over it. Go get your arrow. We've shown you at some of the other events thus far, on the other shows, we've showed you what our TK score rings are on your normal broadside animal. We've showed you some of the difference, and we're going to show you some more today of our quartering away animals, quartering to. I want to show you the difference that we've done from a conventional 3D target on a turkey. Conventional 3D targets, the score rings are up in here at the front part of the wing on a turkey and real high. That's not realistic for where the kill zone is on a live turkey. A live turkey, the kill zone sits right at the bottom of the where the leg comes down to the smaller part, sits right at the breastbone. To actually go into the vital area and get into the heart, lungs, and liver of a turkey, you have to break the bone, the top of the bone on the leg. So the actual vital sits at the bottom of the wing if the bird was not in a semi-strutting position, which would be approximately here. Now the wing is stretched down below that in this particular position. We're doing our best to try to simulate where the true kill is. Now if you notice, on this particular target, there is no 12 line and there is no 10, because we looked at, in the spirit of true kill, TK, that when you shoot a turkey with a bow, the kinetic energy misplaces everything in the vital area. So therefore we've given you the entire vital package, including the intestines, the stomach, everything that is behind your heart, lungs, and liver. Because if you hit in that pocket of vitals, you're going to suck it all out. So we've made it on these targets that it's 15 or it's a wounded animal. Because in the wild, a turkey's kill zone is so small, you're either going to kill it or you're going to wound it. Just keep that in mind each time you see us shoot a turkey, and also when you're in the woods, in the wild.
Today, one of our target shooters said that he would not take this shot on a live animal, that he has let animals walk away, would not take this shot, let them leave.
Well, you know, there's a lot of things out there that teach and talk about that you cannot do a quartering two shot with a bow. And really and truly, there's some truth to that it's a low percentage shot. Unless you've got that animal, in my opinion, well within your effective range. Now, for the average Joe hunter, no, you'll see down here with this target that maybe this is not a shot that he should take because he's going to hit outside the vital areas. And with T.H.E., sometimes we'll set up a shot like this to teach people why they shouldn't and why they can't get this. For example, you know, we set this almost exact same shot up at the World Championship last year, and we thought that because we had it at 22 yards that little 15 ring was going to be blown completely out of the target. And instead, we had a shotgun pattern all over it because it was something people had to see and something that their mind's eye's really been trained not to do. But
and like on this shot, this particular shot, where we're standing, that deer's looking at us, it's going to go one way or another. It's in deep brush. We can't take the shot except this one.
Exactly. And, you know, and for me, even if it's a doe, because I look at every animal that I kill as a trophy, you know, of course, everybody likes big ones. But to me, when you take it with a bow, that's something. And, you know, especially if you were actually on the ground like this, walking with it.
Right.
And with today's kinetic energies of bows, you can blow through so many things on a deer that even 5 years ago, the bows were not capable of doing. But in this situation, we're not trying to blow through anything. We'll show you when we get up close that this kill zone is designed to show where the bone structure is and how you've got to shoot around it. Let's get another opinion, Terry. You know what's your opinion on this? And just be 100% honest. In the wild, at this yardage, would you take this animal, or would you have to let it walk because of your feelings?
Within the 30-yard range, I would take it.
You know, my brother-in-law tells me that the very first deer he ever killed, because one, he had not been educated any differently or whatever that way, and he thought, if I can shoot it quartering away, I can shoot it quartering too. The very first deer he ever killed, he killed at 15 yards sitting on his rear end, you know, doing it. So I think we're getting into a battle here of what each person's personal ethics are, and what we keep trying to teach, do you know for sure your skill level?
Okay, so this particular shot is going back to your theory of we're teaching you what you and your equipment are capable of, then you know whether to take this shot in the wild or whether to let this animal walk.
Exactly. Because even myself, for example, from our state, we've got a 40-yard maximum. This target is standing, what, 23 yards max?
23, 24 probably.
23, 24 yards. For you and I, in the wild, we're not going to miss the size of your fist. We don't miss it out here shooting targets. So we can get through this narrow gap between the spoon of the shoulder and the breastbone of the chest, and we can get into those spots. For shooters who don't know that they can be that accurate, 23 yards may be too far, because I know myself, kind of like Terry said, boy, it breaks that 30-yard range. No, I wouldn't be comfortable taking the shot either. And to be honest with you, if the target was set at 40 yards, I would be saying that, hey, it's an empty shot for me in the wild. What would you do, Chip?
On this particular shot, if it's in 25 yards or less, I'd probably try the shot. But it's one of those, I think the average hunter would benefit greatly from coming to this type of situation to see if he can make the shot or whether he cannot make the shot.
Right, because if he can't place it within the vital areas that we've drawn on the target, then it's not a shot he should be taking.
And if you don't practice it, you don't know.
Exactly. Well, let's shoot it and see how we fare. We've got the other camera down there to catch where we actually hit, and you guys, you be the judge.
Now, Jimmy, on this particular deal, on a live shot, would you aim intentionally at the heart, or would you try to go and catch a little bit higher for a safer
To be
shot?
honest with me, I'm going for a double lung liver pass through. I'm going to go for passing right kind of below what they call the spoon of the shoulder. And if I was to get the heart, I'm going to let that be my safety zone below. But I'm going to try to rip through there and go right out through the liver.
Now your target shooter, yeah, you're going to see the 15. You're going to try for that. A hunting situation on this particular shot, yeah, I would try just a little higher and make a more safe, sure kill.
Right. You shoot where you think that the target shooter would with that big scope, and I'll show them where I'm going to try to place it in the wild.
That is in the middle of the double line.
That's a dead animal.
That's going to get the liver and the lungs.
So with that shot, if I can do that over and over again, why would that be unethical? Let's just see if I can do it twice in a row.
Now that would be more where I would put it in the wild.
Right.
Instead of going for the points with the scope.
Now look, y'all watched us shoot these targets. You know how we shot them. Look at this. This arrow right here, shot by a 12-year-old. This arrow, shot by a 36-year-old. This arrow shot by 53-year-old. And look at the placement. These are people that shoot targets. Now the 12-year-old hadn't shot but about 3 years. The rest of us has shot for a while, but because of that experience. And that's the point. If you're a hunter and you're seeing this, come out here and get the experience. Know whether you should or shouldn't take a shot like this. Don't just go off of because of the fact someone's told you that you shouldn't. They're talking about the mass numbers, about the average shooter who never practices. When you come to a higher skill level, and that's what THE with TK is going to bring you to, is a higher skill level. We've told you, more confident, more lethal in the wild. That means less wounded deer. That means better arguments for us to not get our hunting rights taken away because we take our animals cleanly and quickly. Now, let's use the example here. We have 4 arrows that went through here. You know I shot this arrow second, a little high in the lungs, but it was still well within them, double lung. But this arrow here, Chet shot it as a target shooter chasing points, aiming low for that 15 ring to get it. He missed by 1 yard on his yardage judgment. Look at his placement. He's aiming here. If you can see where my finger is my fingers are here in the light. That's where the 15 ring is if it's not showing up on camera. He's 1 yard low. Had he played safe right here where this water arrows are, he's not off too bad his left and right. He still gets past the spoon of the shoulder, double lung kill. So it's not that he made a terrible shot for where he was aiming, but he was chasing points versus chasing a kill. That's the difference in the choice of a hunter and a target shooter. Chasing points and chasing a kill. Come on out and prepare to be a better hunter. Okay, you saw where the arrows were placed. Now we've removed them. Let's discuss a little bit the setup of this kill zone. If you're chasing points and you're going for what the heart representation is, the 15 ring, you've got to shoot. The bone structure of your leg comes up, turns about a 45, and it spreads out up here into what's called the spoon of the shoulder. And that's right here, right in that whole hump. And you've got to shoot below it. That's why the 12 ring goes around it here instead of your lungs coming over into it. You're not going to put an arrow through this bone. It can happen, but it's not a high percentage shot. Here's your heart. Your heart is actually probably a little larger than that, even from this angle. But again, it has to be cut off because you have the bone of your sternum that wraps around and stops about here. From here up, the only thing in your way is the muscles of the neck and the spinal cord. And if you hit the spinal cord, the deer goes down anyway. But you're going through meat. That's no different than coming in from the backside going through meat. So That's why you have this narrow gap. This is your lungs, your double lungs. If you get within this, then you're going to travel through both lungs out to the liver. Now this up here that's over into what you're looking at thinking, well gosh, that's just neck. Well, no, that if you look through the target, that would be your single lung. That if you go through the neck here and come out back here right behind the shoulder, then that's going to have you where you get one lung. You're going to recover that deer, but you're going to have to give it some time. Just as on the broadside shot, when you hit it in the liver many times, you've got to give it time to go lay down. It's not going to die as quickly as if you can get through both lungs and or through the heart. Now you can see, for a target shooter's vantage point, trying to chase these points, this is a very difficult shot. In the wild, I am not going to attempt this shot here. I'm going to be attempting to put my arrows right where you saw me put them, right through the double lungs. But this has to be represented for the competition side of it and for the realism, because the heart is still there. It could be gotten to. And if you're that good of a shooter, which is better than I am, there's no reason why you can't take that heart out and recover that deer within 30 to 50 yards. On today's show, we showed you a few shots that are, for lack of better terms, a little questionable. And some would say unethical. And we're not saying that you should take those shots. The only thing we're trying to do at T.H.E. is present everything that you might potentially be presented with in the wild, so that you can practice it on foam before you practice it on flesh and blood. We're asking you to come join us on the game trail and practice the shot scenarios on foam. Know for sure, instead of making a decision under the stress of the buck of a lifetime being in your sights and you thinking, maybe I can. Come out here and know that you can or you can't. That's the point of T.H.E. True hunting experiences.